Oh my
We're
gosh.
live.
How do I get rid of that?
Welcome to live.
Oh,
It,
good.
it
Hey.
disappeared.
Hey, everybody. Chris and Linda Paget.
All right, so there's your button to
All right. To
switch it.
rotate.
Yep. I tell you,
Um,
we are so clueless on
we got
this.
this.
We got it.
We got it. You know what we should have done is put it on the stand there.
We're going to move around.
Oh, well,
We
we
want to
could.
make everybody as sick as possible.
Yeah. So, hi. Welcome to the Happy Place Homestead. Day 2 of videoing a portion of our quarantined existence.
Inside the quarantine.
Inside the quarantine.
Again, none of us are actually sick.
Nobody's sick.
No one's sick. But,
I mean,
if we have to social distance ourselves. Hey
hello,
there,
Elizabeth. Do you know, today we're going to talk about 3 very important topics that I'm sure many of you are going through and experiencing and relating with in some form and fashion. In New York here, all of the kids' schools have been canceled, and so they're moving and have moved to an online platform, which meant today Linda had to go and get all of the tablets and things like that for the kids to do their schoolwork. All right, Linda's getting the stand so we can do this properly.
Just so that we don't just like.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Our face looks like we're so dang close to the camera. That's why we don't have to be so
that's
close
pretty
to the
good.
camera. All right.
All right, and then the second thing we're going to talk about is conspiracy theories. And Linda, who, by the way, is the least likely of persons to have a conspiracy theory with everything, has like hook, line, and sinker. Is that the phrase? I mean, she has bit into the conspiracy theory to the max.
I think that's wrong, but okay.
Crazy to the max. And then
No.
the third thing we're going to talk about is bone broth, which is almost like conspiracy theories because bone broth apparently can cure all things. So, oh, by the way, side note, did you know that West Virginia doesn't have any type of corona
I know.
virus? Nothing?
Yeah. Have you seen all those memes out there of the Forrest Gump memes? I just saw one. There's been several, but they're so funny. It's like, and just like that,
Yeah, I saw
West
that
Virginia
too.
has the best hygiene or something like that.
I
Love it.
I know. I do love it.
All right.
I mean, honestly, there's a lot of funny jokes to be had there, but we're going to move on. Okay, so let's talk about school. So, Linda, you went today to get the kids tablets and things.
Yes.
Joe,
There's
are you
Joe.
excited? You excited that you have all your schoolwork that you need?
Did you get your? A couple of my kids have said that they've got schedules going. Do you got your schedule? Tell us about it.
I pretty much just made a calendar.
Louder!
I made a calendar of what to do on each day. So tomorrow is when we're actually doing the work. Because they sent out like a thing to tell us like what we need to do for week 1. So you said like, oh, tomorrow you should do like social studies and math, and then next day.
Right, that's
another
good. So
piece.
they've given you kind of a set schedule to do. So I had to go today. We were given an hour for the letter P. We were given an hour and a half window to pick up the Chromebooks and all the chargers for the Chromebooks and any kind of work that a teacher wanted to give. And so I had an hour and a half to go to 3 schools and pick up 5 Chromebooks. It was crazy. They all tried very hard to make sure it was organized and not crazy, but it just is crazy. And there's like people driving in their cars with masks on. One person in front of me at the elementary school, like she was about 10 feet behind the person in front of her in line. And I'm like, seriously, the person has their back to you. You have to stand 10 feet behind them. It's just a little bit of craziness out there, which I don't do well in crazy. Ella, you got your Chromebook. We trying to get Ella situated today for hers was interesting, right? Yeah, we're Mac people, and so I feel like a child. I'm completely out of my sorts trying to do a Chrome brand.
Then why don't you sit down?
Whatever.
And then, we can spread the feet of that a little bit.
Okay.
So one of the interesting things about this is that for the last few years I've been teaching online with Catholic Distance University, cdu.edu, plug. It's a great online university, and it has a lot of options for people to explore to continue their education. Well, we've been doing the online platform for a long time there, and what's kind of interesting, it takes a while to learn how to use all of that stuff. And all I can do is really and truly sympathize with a lot of these teachers who, for the very first time, are basically trying to figure out how to take all this content that they've been doing face-to-face with students for so long and put it onto an online platform. And while there have been a lot of different places like Blackboard and Canvas and the like that people can put materials up there, there's still a whole group of teachers that have never done this before. So
Right.
in some ways, they really only had a few days to just figure out how to do this, upload it all, get the curriculum in place so that they can put it up for an online structure. So there's a lot of applause and praise
Yeah.
for the teachers that have had to do that.
Right.
We're just kind
I'm
of
just
a little
saying,
bit
for
in
me,
awe.
and that's it, me. It's my own ignorance when it comes to figuring out the Chromebook and all of that kind of stuff. I'm so glad the kids understand it all. But yes, it is the teachers and they're all, everyone's trying to make do. Everyone's trying to do what they can. What do you
Yeah.
got? You're going to show us? Oh, here, come over here.
I just found this.
Yeah, here she is. She's seeing us on her.
What a faithful fan.
She's watching us on her Chromebook. Yeah.
The lighting is a little weird now.
I just
Yeah?
found
Move it so
you.
that it's over a little
All right.
bit.
Oh,
I'm obsessed with the lighting. I think we've had horrible lighting here. Oh, what happened? Hey, turn that off. That was good.
no, it was not good.
Yeah, there it is. We're
No.
highlighted now. You
It's
can
too
see
dark.
us way better.
You need to have backlight. You need to have
Look,
backlight.
now you can't see our face. Who cares about the back?
I
Okay,
can't.
so anyways, we've got school. So those of you out there who are doing the school stuff,
Androids rule.
you can relate. How many of you parents out there, had to go get more than one different Chromebook? Linda said she went to the elementary school, middle school, and high school today. Was gone. You were gone for a couple hours.
Because I also went grocery shopping again.
Oh,
I feel this
yes.
obsession about grocery shopping, whereas I normally I would shop for exactly what I needed and be done. And I am not a hoarder. I'm a minimalist, and so buying and preparing is against my character. But my big search today was butter. How
Yeah.
do you survive an apocalypse without butter?
Well, here's the interesting thing: is
I
that
found
in
it,
a
though.
worst case scenario, Emma, our mama goat,
I know.
had babies.
I know.
We could figure out how to churn.
That's what I said to the kids. Well, if we run out of milk for cereal, we'll just milk Emma.
We need
right?
some butter, churn, churn, churn. Anyway,
So I thought, again, the idea of this is insight. Is you don't want to just listen to us.
Right.
I know you don't want to just see our little
I
talking
know.
heads, right?
right?
So
Of course not.
you go. Let's go. Show
So,
them, what's going on inside the quarantine today.
Tell us a little bit about your school experience. How's that been for the kids? I don't know that we're really fully in the groove yet for our chillins. We're gonna let them kind of have a little bit more freedom. It's gonna be a little bit more like the homeschool vibe, I think, than usual. How should I can turn this, can I? Yes, I can. All right, so you guys are gonna get a chance to see the upstairs, which realistically is
Clean.
is it clean?
It is kind of clean.
Wow, nice.
Yeah. So I don't know. We're inside the quarantine.
We got our Infant of Prague statue and Our Lady, of course. And, okay, I don't know how to tell if our signal's maintaining.
Okay. You guys are. So what have you been doing today?
Work.
All right. How have you?
Poor Jude.
How have you? You got your organized. He was organized. He was telling me about his schedule too, already. So that's good. But
My science and my art.
I think the challenge for us. Oh, and he's doing the same thing. He's watching it live on his Chromebook. I think the challenge for us, in all honesty, is going to be controlling video games.
Yeah.
But
I haven't been playing that much. I just
what's right here?
So we got the boys finishing up all their school stuff today, and then we've got Mary. Let's not distract her.
But Colby's downstairs working out, so I guess PE is taken care of. It's
Yep.
our homeschool experience. And Noah so the boy, we've set up a couple, like college student Noah asked for a desk in his office.
Joe Padgett's on conversing with us. We have this. This is going to be a big project for Linda soon. It's going to be. We'll put flooring down through this but there's not a.
Wall color. Hey, anybody have any suggestions on wall color here? I'm gonna wallpaper this wall and up the cupola with this wallpaper. What color do you think I should do on the walls here, on the hallway? I can't decide. Purple. Jude says purple.
Well, that's very Lenten.
Yes, but yeah.
Let's head down.
All right, go down.
I'm trying not to make anybody sick here.
Oh, come on. No trouble isn't bad.
Dun, dun, dun. Ba-da-da-da. Well, okay, so we've covered school. What's the other topic?
You
We've
said
got
conspiracy.
conspiracies. Let's talk about that for a second. All right, so Linda, let me flip this around then if you're going to come over with me.
Yeah.
Hold up. There's Travis. What's up, Travis? We're trying our best, man. Lighting, I'm so irritated with the lighting right now. But it's what it is. It's 5 o'clock. Come sit for a second. All right, so here's the truth. I'm a little obsessive compulsive. I know that's a surprise. And it feels like something's wet on this. So I'm a little obsessive compulsive. I've got
Oh, someone said something.
I got a lot of things that I want to say about this. First of all, this is my philosophy, is that either A, we're not being told like the extent and the horror of the coronavirus in full, and they're kind of slowly and subtly shutting everything down. Or maybe they're overreacting, or maybe it's exactly as they're saying it is. So, I mean, you kind of have, what they're giving us on the news is right. What they're giving us on the news is kind of doled down because it's worse than we think, or what they're giving us on the news is complete malarkey. So,
Okay, but my issue is not necessarily the virus itself.
right.
It's the reaction. It's the hype that's built, and the
hysteria.
reaction to that, and the ramifications of that reaction is my issue. And so, and Chris is saying that it is not conspiracy theory, and it's funny to me that I'm going to be poo-pooed as a conspiracy theorist when it's out there. The hysteria is so rampant out there about the virus.
Okay, but here's the thing: is that
I know Elizabeth's on my
Okay,
side.
so Linda she's taken this whole thing to a different level. So instead of, go ahead, you tell what you're thinking.
I think my frustration is not things shutting down and us being careful. I'm totally for all that. I understand why schools would shut down. I understand their desire to control the outbreak and especially protecting children. But of course, shutting down schools is causing a new problem in other areas. You have children who are not being taken care of, who are not being fed,
Right.
who are being left in abusive situations all day long. That school would have been their safe zone for. So it causes a whole another wealth of problems that this is. But I understand why they're doing this. Long-term effects.
Long-term effects. That's right.
So my problem though is the mandating of things. Mandating how many people can gather together. We fought a war over this. That was one of the freedoms that we fought for as Americans, the right to gather. And and this is something that we are handing over so easily, and it's fear-driven. It's so fear-driven.
This is what I'm trying to say, though, with regards to this, is that this is what I'm saying. Either it's worse than we're being led to believe, and because you have almost like this duplicitous approach. Yeah, it's really not going to be that bad. It should be done soon, and then you have like everything needs to be shut down because it's going to be way worse than you think.
I think that the point of like what the result of the virus is insignificant. Like all that, whatever. It's the control. It's the government mandating of things. The government controlling our behavior as free Americans to and encourage, and then for the church to roll
I'm
over
coughing.
and say, sure, we'll stop having masses, we'll stop having public gatherings because the government's telling us to. When in the history of history has it ever been smart for a church to do what a government tells them to do?
But in terms of an ecclesial response, they're trying to have, recognize that we have a moral responsibility not to provide
I think
a place
Right.
that could be, part
Right.
of the
But
problem.
again, let's go back in history. Historically, a virus to this magnitude is not any worse than what we've experienced in history
Okay.
without the presence of antibiotic things and stuff like that. Okay.
Right.
But historically, we have a whole wealth of history where Linda.
We'll lead the revolution.
That's right. So that this is like a whole history of people losing their rights to freedom and to do whatever, to religion, to free gatherings, public gatherings.
I would like to interject. I like what you're saying, and I actually agree with a lot of that. Except, here's the thing: what if okay? So here's where it's a little bit of a breakdown for me. Obviously, it's spreading, and it spreads fast, and we're going to see the numbers increase radically here in the coming weeks. But
Will we?
We will see it. It's already. I think it's already over 100 people or 100 people plus have died, and whatever it is have been
Worldwide.
infected. No, here in the United States. So here's the interesting thing about this, and this is what I think I'm trying to get to, is if it's that bad, then is it not smart to say let's all kind of do this self-containment thing?
Okay, I'm not saying it's not smart to do that. Again, that's not my point. My point, I understand the importance of socially whatever distancing.
Yeah.
I understand all of that. There's great value in that. But again, it comes down to the mandating. It should be my free choice if I want to attend Mass with 100 other people. That should be my right to do that.
You could say that it's that's why they have the implementation of you have to have a certain shot record for your children to enter into the public school. Right. It's your right if you don't want to have your kids vaccinated, but they're not going to go to a public school.
Yeah, I don't understand the connection there.
Well, if they're mandating something from the perspective of
But,
we want to make
But I'm
sure.
saying that the people who are saying, "Oh yeah, let's do what the government says," are the same people who are like, "You can't tell us we have to vaccinate our kids." It's the same people who are like, "We don't need universal health care. We don't need big government. We don't want big government. We don't want big government." It's the same people going, "Oh, the government wants us to do this. Okay."
Well,
it's like, what?
I'm supposing there's some people who don't want to vaccinate their kids and don't want to do what the government says in terms of social distancing. But yeah.
Well, those who anyway.
Here's the thing.
Okay, we
I
too
don't.
much
So
time on this.
whatever.
We're
Long and the
losing
short of it
people.
is, I'm not sure what your conspiracy theory is, but we've heard some weird ones like that this was a biological warfare that had been initiated in South Korea or North Korea rather, and whatever. So just it was something a ploy to gain funds. To generate revenue and blah 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 whatever. So I don't know what your conspiracy theory is. I'd be interested to read it. Here's the last bone broth. Let's talk about bone broth. So do you wanna lead the way?
Let's go.
All right, here we go. So Linda's for the last 2 days, I suppose, right?
24 hours.
24 hours. She's been cooking bone broth. Where'd the bones come from?
Okay, so the idea of bone broth, this is another one of my little pet peeves, is that, again, we want to be healthy, right? We're going to wash our hands and bathe ourselves in hand sanitizer, but the best way to be healthy is to work on the inside by avoiding foods that are not good for you, like sugar, soda, all those high carb, bad carbs, and all of that. But one of the things that is actually really helpful to the immune system is bone broth. There's lots of different things. Ginger is really good. Of course, citrus is very good for you. All of that. Here's bone broth. So,
I'm having trouble with my.
24 hours to 36 hours, you cook bones with a couple veggies, and I have it's just water, bones, and some veggies. It's good to put ginger in here because ginger is a good immune booster. And these bones I've had in my freezer for a while because I've made bone broth quite a bit in the past, but I haven't for a while. And then with all this chaos, I was like, oh my gosh, I should make bone broth.
But
So-
what bones are they? Like how?
That's totally a rib bone right there. So,
But where does a person get bones for the bone broth?
well, if you buy ribs, you have the bones from the ribs, you know.
So you
pork
can
or
use
whatever.
any animal bones.
Any kind of animal bones, preferably ones that you know the source of. You don't want to like get them
You don't
outside
get
the
them
room.
just off
Yeah.
the.
So,
Okay, that's good to know.
But there's also, I do have some chicken bones in here, and so obviously we have chicken bones. You know, it's easy to get chicken bones. So again, if you're gonna make it, it's always best to know the source of your bones, and for the animal to be healthy. You know, pork. It's good to maybe have organic, pastured pork if you're gonna eat their bones. You don't eat their bones, but by cooking it at a low temperature for a long period of time, you're kind of getting the marrow out. It produces a gelatin that will kind of look like pudding or like Jello. If it's really jello-y like that, that means you've done a really good job with bone broth.
So ours is not done then.
This is still warm, so once it cools, it will. I still have to. I'm going to have to strain this. I'll take all the bones and all the stuff out, and then I'll run it through cheesecloth to get it really strained, to get all the little chunks of.
And then what do we
stuff.
do with that? Do we just drink
You
it?
drink it. Mm-hmm. You can warm it up. It's like broth. It's like broth. Like if you like broth with beef stew or chicken noodle soup or anything like that, you just drink it. So for lunch, you can have a cup of soup, a cup of broth.
All right, so there's your little 411 on what's going on with the Padges today. We've got our school stuff figured out. We've got we got our conspiracy theories kind of in the making, in the works. We're trying to figure out what's next, and then we got our bone broth ready. So I don't know what you're doing right now, but we saw that some people were throwing up some prayer requests, so we've got that covered tonight when we do our family prayer, and we want you to know that we're just here to hopefully bring a smile to your face and encourage you. Here's the simple truth. We're not gonna probably make this a thing where we're going into the heavy of all the drama that's going on in the world. We're gonna try to bring you a little bit of a smile and a respite from your crazy day by just tuning in and having fun. So we'll do this, once a day and let you know. And thanks for tuning in. If I can figure out how to stop this now, that would be great. All right. Are you sure you want to stop? Yeah.